Do 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 do. Here we on. We're on. Let me make sure we're on. What is up, y'all? What is up, y'all? I am back. Hello, Vogue. I'm just kidding. It's fuck Vogue over here. Hey, y'all. I have not done my makeup in since the last time I did my makeup in this video, which was 3 weeks ago, I think. I haven't done my makeup since then, for fun and to relax, and I wanted to do that. And I was talking to a friend of mine who was in the Navy with me. He was like, bitch, you killing YouTube, da 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 da, you about to be famous. And I was like, I know. And I was like, should I do a video talking about my time in the Navy? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, okay. So today I'm gonna do my makeup and I'm gonna talk about my time in the Navy. I'm gonna talk about just a bunch of shit. You know, I'm just gonna have a free for all. I'm gonna be a little candid. I'm gonna be a little crazy. It's gonna be cute. So I'm gonna do my makeup, and I hope y'all enjoy it. And first and foremost, I just want everyone to understand that I was in the military because I had to be in the military. I had no other options. I was emancipated right before my 18th birthday, and I hadn't really ever done anything that adults should have done. So yeah, I had to join the military so I could go to college, because that's what I thought I had to do at that time of my life, at that age, at that maturity level, at that mindset, at that state of being. Where is my primer? Oh my God. That's crazy. That's crazy. Oh my God. That is so crazy. Oh my God. I'm gonna edit this out. Or I might not. Y'all can stay here and wait. Where are you, primer? Primer? Is that you? No, it's not primer. Where the fuck is my primer? There it is. Oh shit. I found it relatively fast. I'm gonna keep this part in there. Anyways, y'all. So I had to join the military, I didn't really have any other options. And, I just needed discipline, for myself. So for me, it was do I still want to be in Miami, partying, and fucking around with my friends who we were all just kind of really doing the same shit at the same time. And I was just I want something different. So my caretaker at the time, who also was pushing me to join the military, went with me to the recruiting office for the Navy. I originally wanted to join the Marines because, in all honesty, y'all, I wanted to shoot shit. I'm a little twisted, I'm a little crazy, and I was like, I want to shoot stuff. So I was gonna do that, but my caretaker was like, oh my God, no, you're gonna die. Don't join the Marines, join the Navy. You'll be safe in the Navy, da 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 da. And I was like, okay, I guess. And my aunt was in the Marines, and I think my grandfather on my mom's side was in the military as well. So I didn't really know much about the military, but I didn't have a negative outlook on it at that age because I was ignorant. And also because I had just grown up around people who were in the military who are good people, so yeah. But we went to the Navy recruiting office, and the guy was like, what do you want to do? And like, I had already done like my research beforehand because like I have a Virgo moon, y'all. So like, I will research shit and like look it up like in detail, like heavy before I engage with it. Like when I first started doing makeup, I literally would watch. I still kind of do now, but back in the day, I watched makeup YouTube videos like if it was fucking oxygen, y'all. So that's just an example. So before I went to the recruiting office, I was like, let me look this shit up because I'm not about to get gypped. And I had friends who were in the military as well who were like, bitch, like, fucking make sure you cross your I's and dot your I's and cross your T's before you fucking go to the recruiting office and like check everything, like make sure this is something you really want to do, you know, typical shit that people who are in the Navy tell people who are about to sell their soul. And I was like, all right, y'all. And I start like looking up, I just started looking up shit. Hold on, y'all, I got anxiety. I gotta make sure it's recording. Okay, it is. My videos are gonna be very organic and homemade, y'all. I just want to make that clear too, because I've been just thinking about the direction I want to go with my channel, and I just want it to be very like you're at home with me, like, you know, the 90s, like we're on the phone, you know, we just talking. You know, I don't want it to look like a studio or something crazy. I want it to be like relatable. So we gonna keep this that in. I just want to throw that in there. But I did my research and I wanted to train dogs in the Navy. Like I wanted to like be the person who like trained the doggies and shit. And like I wanted to be an MA, like a master at arms, but I wanted to like just be with the dogs because I was just like I'm an animal bitch. I love animals and I really wanted to work with the animals. So I fucking go to the recruiting office and he's like, well, you need to take the ASVAB first. And I did not know there was a motherfucking test to get in to sell your soul. Like, not only do you sell your soul, but you have to take a test to sell your soul. So I was like, okay. And I was like, what do I gotta do? And he's like, it's reading, writing, like grammar, math, mechanics, all types of shit. And I had to study for it. So I'm studying for this thing. And I'm not really studying. I'm actually like going to Ultra and like fucking popping pussy and like sucking dick and like all the things that were not gonna help me score high on this test. And you know, I didn't think I was gonna score high because I had been out of high school at this point for like, I think maybe like 2 years. 2 years, yeah, 2 years. I had been out of high school and fucking off for like 2 years. So not fucking off, I was finding myself. And I tried studying for it. I just, you know, I didn't want to apply myself because I was like, this shit is stupid. Like, I don't want to do a test. Like, I'm not in high school. And I do the test and I actually did really, really well. I did really, really well. I did almost perfect in the reading and writing because I'm a star when it comes to the words. And I almost bombed the math, but I think I did like average in the math. And then I did good on some other weird thing with like dots and shit, I don't know. And they were like, okay, these are the jobs that you can, that the Navy has available for you that you can take. And they started showing me all these top secret jobs. Now, if y'all don't know, there are levels of secrecy in the government. You know, and the most secret level is top secret. And they were showing me all these jobs. Maybe this will be how I got in the Navy. Like, maybe this would just be Navy story time. Navy story time. So, they show me all these jobs, and top secret jobs, you guys, are like, like some crazy shit. Like, you be like I can't talk about it. And the recruiter was like, you know, like, these top secret jobs are lit because you don't really do a lot of work and you just kind of like sit in this room all day and like it's air conditioning. And like, I was like, Okay, that sounds kind of lit, because, you know, I don't like doing a lot of manual labor, y'all. And he was like, okay, so I end up picking like CTT, and that's a cryptologic technician tech. It's part of the CT branch. There's like CTT, CTR, CTM, CTS, like CTI. I don't know. You can look all this shit up on Google if you want. And I end up picking that job, and I pick my job, and then, they're like, okay, I get sworn in, all that shit. And I go to boot camp, and boot camp was one of the pivotal moments for me, like in my identity as an individual. Because while I was in boot camp, I was really, I was dragged. Like, people were really real with me. And in life, people have not been real with me because I'm a sensitive person and they can feel it. It looks crazy now, you guys, but don't worry, it's gonna look good. I just like to blow out my color so I don't look like I have choppy eyeshadow. No one was really honest with me. And in boot camp, the RDCs, my RDCs specifically, because, we weren't allowed to really talk to anybody else. They were real as fuck with me. Like, they were real with me, like, on a real ass level. And they were like, one time I remember one of them was like, I know you don't want to be here, but they were like, try to think about something that you love that you would want to do good for. So, like, even if you weren't here, or even if you were somewhere else that you didn't want to be, you could still do good for that something. Because he was like, at the end of the day, like, this is just a stepping stone, like, for your life, whether you make a career out of it or not. And that just, really changed my perspective, because I never had, like, an adult sit down and be like, what do you, like, care about? And, like, think about that. Also, like, boot camp, like, I was in an all-male division, so it was, like, all niggas. My division was Division 324, so if anybody's watching it who isn't fake, who is in the division, I highly doubt anybody from the division is, but if they are watching it, and I was in boot camp with y'all, what's up, Division 324, it was lit. I loved my division, honestly, y'all. It was fun as fuck. There was drama, like, it was messy, like, it was crazy as fuck. I met 2 of my best friends in the Navy in boot camp. One of them is from, I think he's pretty sure he's from Alabama. And the other one is from South Carolina or North Carolina. I don't know. They're both from the South. And I'm really close to both of them. One of them I'm really, really close to because I was with him after boot camp. But the other person, I still view him as, like, my bestie. But we got split up after A school. But in boot camp, I met them. And I had never really had, like, guy best friends, like, before the Navy. Because, guys were just, like... I didn't think of guys as being really my best friends before the Navy. I had to grow to, like, understand what that looked like, but in the Navy was, like, my first clear definitions of that. And it was very important for me because I had very negative experiences with my brother and the man who raised me, So it was really good to have those friendships and have those experiences. And it just really gave me a chance to just, like, be myself. Like, I didn't have to, like, act queer. I didn't have to act overly feminine. I didn't have to, like, engage in, like hyper feminine topics or even super masculine topics. Like, I really got to just be myself with them because they weren't really expecting anything of me. Like, a lot of my friends when I was younger were women, and women expected a lot of me as a young gay male at the time. And stuff that I didn't realize, but looking back now, when I look at those friendships that I developed in the Navy, I realize how much freedom they gave me to really discover myself. Like, I was naked in front of these niggas, y'all. Like, bitch, like, I saw everything about them. Like, motherfuckers was crying, bitches got dumped. Like, it was crazy, and, like, it just really showed me the rawness of the human spirit. Boot camp was crazy. So I graduated boot camp and I go to A school. A school, y'all. A school is really where, that's where like I really started like, I really, I, I really found myself in A school, y'all. Like I really started finding myself there. And A school is like Navy college. Like boot camp is high school. Elementary school is like life, because you know is like, because if you live in America, they're brainwashing you to join the military and shit. So elementary school is life, and A school is and boot camp is high school. A school is college, and A school was crazy because it was just like, it was like college, and I didn't go to college, you know. I joined the Navy, but A school was like, we went to class every day, but we had tests like every other day. I feel like it was frequent, like, and we were learning crazy shit because my job, for those, like anybody who doesn't know, like cryptologic technician tech, the T version, our main purpose is anti-ship missile defense, meaning we need to stop missiles from hitting the ship any means necessary. So my job was intense. We were learning really crazy shit. We were learning scary shit. I was learning a lot of stuff about the job that I would be doing when I got to my ship and what it would require of me, and it terrified me. But that wasn't even the life-changing part, you know. That part was a little, was you know, crazy. It was different. But what was life-changing was my life in A school. Like I had never really expressed myself in my queerness like heavily, and when I went to A school, like I had the money to buy what I wanted. I had the freedom to buy what I wanted. I lived with people who knew me like from boot camp and shit too. And I just kind of did whatever I wanted, you know. I was partying, y'all. I was drinking, like. And bitch, let me tell you, I wasn't supposed to be drinking, but I was, y'all. I was fucking young out here every Thursday through Sunday, bitch. Drinking. Like, it was so crazy. And I was like, was making friends. I was really forming deep friendships with a lot of people. And I was really learning about myself. And I was also being really messy and self-destructive. And dealing with a lot of just, you know, not having boundaries and being young. And it was a huge experience for me. Like, it was crazy. Like, I started dating my first boyfriend who lived in Miami in A school, my first real boyfriend. I also, like, was hooking up and having, like, sex, like, actively for my first time in A school. And that was new for me because I was raised by a dad who was extremely controlling, who thought I was straight, allegedly, my whole life. And, you know, I never really had the chance to, like, slut the fuck out, you know, what is healthy for people. And when I got to A school, I did, because, you know, I was attractive. I was feeling attractive. You know, I feel like I blossomed, you know, like, and I had, like, I had money. Like, I had my own money. Like, that was huge for me. I never had my own money. And that was huge. Like, that was just big for me to, like, have a moment of, like, you know, this is my shit. This is my shit. And it was just very empowering for me. It was lit. Hold on, yo, let me see if I can open this. Yeah, there we go. Okay, it's not doing much, but it was empowering. And, you know, I was really I had a lot of access to a lot of shit, but I wasn't responsible enough to, like, use it responsibly, and I was just kind of running amok. But it was good because I learned and I accumulated a lot of lessons, debt, to help me learn. And it was a huge experience. So after boot camp, I go to my ship. And my ship is where I learned the most about myself in the Navy. This is where I learned the most about just everything. Like, this is where I learned I learned about who I was and what I tolerated and didn't tolerate in the beginning. This is like where I initially started to realize that I was trans. This is where I started to realize that I was attractive in a deep sense. And this is where I realized the dangers of people and men. And this is also where I realized the benefits of community and honest friendships and loyalty. All types of shit, y'all. All types of shit. And I'm gonna do a little dramatic under eye today, so she's gonna be a little bright. And this is where I learned, like, I just learned a lot about myself. I was on FFG 55, the USS Rod. Shout out to anyone who was on the L Rod, whether I like you or not. And they were fucking, it was lit, y'all. It was lit. I'm not even gonna front. I loved my ship. I loved it so much. I cried the day decommissioned. I was drunk, but I cried, like, and it was genuine sadness, you know? That was like a huge moment for me in my life. And you know, it was all male, and I didn't know that my ship was gonna be all male. But honestly, I'm kind of happy that it was, and not for the reasons that you perverts are thinking. Because everybody's like, in the Navy, everybody's gay. Like, you know, and I'm not gonna object to that, like, you know. But I'm not gonna label anybody as gay in the Navy. You know, that's wrong. But it taught me a lot. So I left A school and I go to Panama. I meet the ship in Panama City, like in Panama. Like, I had never been out of America before, y'all. That was a crazy ass moment for me. I met some rich bitch who like gave me $100 and like fucking the money that they used there. I forgot what it was. Bitch, crazy ass shit. So I get on the ship, and I remember my first day on the ship, y'all. Like, I remember I was walking up to the ship, and I'm wearing this tight ass burgundy shirt from Forever 21. These like jeggings. Y'all remember jeggings? Anybody who's like my age, like, or like, you know, is 90s baby, like, and who came up with Wet Seal and Forever 21 and Cotton On. Y'all remember jeggings? Like, so I'm wearing like navy jeggings, this belt, these loafers. I look so gay. I was looking sweet, y'all. And where's my brush? And I look up at the ship, and it's all these men just looking at me. All these men just looking at me, and I was just like, this is crazy. And I just remember like the energy. My first day on the ship was wild. Like, I could feel it. Like, everybody was like, yo, there's this really gay person coming on board the ship. And at the time, there were 2 other gay people, but like, they were very vocal about it. Like, one of them, like, you know, he acted like hella gay. Like, he would be hitting on everybody, but he would never like talk about gayness in like a community sense. Like, I was expressing myself 100% of the time as a flamboyantly queer boy at the time. And the other 2 people that I was on the ship with were, you know, like, toned down and like being like what was acceptable around normal people. And like, I'm like, fuck that shit. I was never with that, like, ever. I never will be, and I'm still not. And I remember like I was just really like just myself, you know, and like even when I'm not being loud and exuberant, y'all, like, I attract attention because I'm just that type of person. Like, I'm pretty. You know, even when I'm not trying to like speak loudly, I do. And that's just how it went, you know, like people were talking about me, people were trying me, and for a minute it wasn't really that exciting because I felt like I was causing a lot of problems just for being like who I was, and it was obvious prejudice. But the things started changing. And this is why this is one of the moments where like it was powerful for me, and I realized I had a lot of power because I started seeing people's opinions about just like representation entirely change because of knowing me. And I really like, I'm not defending any specific group of people or not defending a specific group of people. I'm only stating my experience when I talk about this. And I saw people who I never ever would think would be accepting of me, and it was crazy. And I also saw a lot of people who just hate me for no reason. I remember one day somebody, when we were in port, asked me why I was wearing super tight pants, and I was like, "Bitch, do you want to fuck me? Because you looking at my body and you like staring at me, and you real concerned with like what I'm doing." If it gets a little dark, y'all, like it's Los Angeles and it's raining, but we got lights, so we can get a little sexual and moody in here, you know. But I was like, "You trying to sleep with me?" And like everyone in the birthing is where we slept, started laughing at this kid. And me and this kid actually became friends after this. Friends is if that's what you would call it. And me and this kid became kind of friends, but it was just like in that moment, like I kind of like warranted people's respect. And I've always wanted to cuss people out, but like I realized when I got into the Navy that like I would be trying to hold back because I didn't want to hurt people's feelings, and I didn't want to look a certain way. I didn't want to be like this loud gay person, but I was just like, fuck it. And in the Navy, ironically, I was pushed to be very loud and queer because of the environment I was in, and that I had to really speak up for myself, or I would have gotten walked all over. Like I wasn't like the perfect sailor, like by a long shot, but I think that I took a lot of pride in what I did, and I had to build and learn and grow to that. I made a lot of mistakes, but I owned up to them, and I really tried to correct them when I did. But like in my division, I was the last person standing, like out of the new guys. I didn't get zoned out for doing drugs, getting caught. I didn't jeopardize my division's manpower, and I feel like that's what matters the most at the end of the day. And I was on a frigate, so the shit that I was doing was way harder than the people were doing on other ships. BTW. Argue with me if you want to. So yeah. I started making friends on the ship, and I started making friends with people who would tell me, like I never, like one of my best friends, he's like, I kind of joke with him because he's kind of like my dad in a weird sense, but he's like my friend, but he's like my dad. And initially I became friends with him initially I was friends with him first on deployment. I started hanging out with his wife, but me and his wife aren't that close anymore. But I was friends with him first, but me and him are still very close, and he's very much so like a mentor figure to me. Like tells me to do YouTube, and like when I have like just issues, like period, I can really go to him. And like I found this in the Navy, and like I'm not even gonna front. Like I never really had like a positive male experience in my life that wasn't sexual before the military. And like one thing that really stuck out to me about this person, I'm not gonna say any names, I don't know, I think I could. No, he's still in the military, so I'm not gonna say any names. This person, like this man, he was like kind of like scared and uncomfortable around queer people before he met me. And like now he's a fucking open-minded ass person. We've never hooked up. We're not going to. And he's a great friend. And like, I have a lot of support in that area. And it's just like I gained that through the military. And he's also one of the people who's really pushed me through my transition and still pushes me to like really just, do whatever the fuck I want. And I'm grateful for that. And in the military, like I still, community was a huge thing for me there. Like I learned a lot about community. I learned a lot about just people, and how to really be loyal, and what building, sorry if the mirror's in the way, guys, how to really be loyal, and how to really commit to loyalty and integrity and like real senses. And Navy really taught me that. And the Navy taught me also to to be ruthless, to be ruthless, and to be a little heavy. I remember one time the Navy really inspired a lot of my activism, because I remember there was a certain senior chief on my ship, my first ship, the Elle, and he had a problem with me wearing these shorts. Now, y'all, these are the Spankies that the Marines all wear. So anybody who knows military life or is in the military knows the shorts I'm talking about. They're those green shorts, and you can see everything be moving around. Like, everything's sealed up and covered, but everything be moving around. And he had a problem with me. Is there a hair on my nose? He had a problem with me wearing those shorts, but there were other people on board the ship wearing these shorts, y'all, like multiple people. It was clearly prejudice. And, I ended up having to write a letter to the captain, which is big. The captain has an open door policy, but it's just like, me as a Black queer person, I didn't want to do that. And I wasn't aware of my fear of doing it because of those reasons at the time. But looking back, I realized that's what I was struggling with. And I still did it. I still popped this letter up there. My LPO, he was a lit LPO. Like, he was crazy. He wasn't perfect, but he was dope. Like, in the moments where like he really had to be lit, he was lit. And like, I asked him, I was like, I feel this way. I feel selected out. Like, what should I do? And he was like, you should definitely write that letter, because that's wrong. And I did, and it ended up opening like a whole thing up, and everybody heard about it. And people didn't like me because of my mouth, but I think that like I really opened doors for like what could happen later on for other queer people who do decide to join the Navy or the military for whatever reason after me. And like, that's like what I really started thinking about, and it taught me that I got attacked in the Navy by this guy. He pulled like a whole hunting knife on me, he punched the shit out of me. Long story short, he was just down low trade, and he had a wife, and he lied to me and said he didn't and tried to blame it on me. And he ended up attacking me, and I learned about fear for my identity that night, like heavily. And I learned what it was like to be scared as a queer person, because I never really experienced being attacked before, oddly so. I know, I feel like I don't want to say I had it coming, but, I stood out. And I learned about like what fear was. I learned what love was in the Navy. I fell in love. For like the first real time for me that I ever fell in love was in the Navy. And it wasn't on my first ship, it was on my second ship, but it was on my second ship. I fell in love in the Navy. I'm not in love with that person anymore, obviously, but I learned a lot about myself in the Navy, and I learned that I was trans in the Navy, because I remember I'm gonna be real with y'all. I hooked up with a lot of guys, okay? Like, I'm not saying any names. I'm not exposing anybody. I'm just saying that I am for the streets, and I've been for the streets. Okay? And I'm not ashamed of that. Okay, y'all? But, I was exploring myself. I was learning about who I was, and I like boys. And I was just really learning like what that looked like for me, and what it felt like for me, and how I wanted it to feel like, you know what I mean? Y'all know what I mean. And I was really out here like hooking up with a lot of guys, and all these guys would be like, yo, I like women, but I like you. And like, you guys, I know people have these stigmas where people are like, oh, like if a guy hooks up with a guy, he's gay. And it's like, no, because there are guys that don't know that they're women, There are guys that don't know that they don't abide by any gender. And I'm a firm believer in that. And I also am a firm believer that, like, experimentation does not make you something. And I would be with a lot of guys who are like, yo, I like you, but I don't think I'm gay. And I'd be with guys who are like, I like you, I think I'm bisexual. And I'd be with guys who are like, I think I like you, I'm gay. And most of them were like, I don't like guys, but I like you. And like, I didn't want to admit to myself why. But it's because, you know, a large part of me is a whole girl, y'all. You know, a large part of me is a whole girl. A large part of me, a large part of me really identifies with womanhood. And I didn't want to accept that at the time. It was really difficult for me. I was really scared to be seen as feminine because, you know, I grew up in a home where that was not accepted. Like, I wasn't even like celebrated for me to be myself. I didn't even know what that was. So like accepting that I was feminine was a lot of shit for me. And I remember one person that I was dating in the Navy, the person who I was in love with, like, big time, asked me and was like, oh, like, do you, like, ever feel like you're a woman? And I was like, no. And, like, no one had, like, people had asked me that question, but no one had asked me it, like, in earnest, like, in honesty. And, like, I didn't know that my fiance, he was my fiance at the time. I didn't know that he was into the girls, y'all. I didn't know that I was one of the girls, you know? So I started really thinking about that. And this was around the time when Caitlyn Jenner came out. And I know this isn't like great and this isn't a dope thing, but I grew up in a Jehovah's Witness family, you guys. So I didn't really I didn't know what transgender was. Like, I didn't know, you know? I didn't know. I didn't get to see that. Like, I didn't get to experience those things because of my upbringing. And I remember, like, I saw Caitlyn Jenner, I released, and I started watching Nikita Dragon before she was a problematic racist bitch. And I really started struggling with my identity because I knew that I was trans, but I was terrified to have to come out again. So I suppressed it, you know? And I was just like, no, I'm not a girl. Like, you're my boyfriend. I'm your boyfriend. Da-da-da-da-da. All that good, lame, gay shit, you know? And through the Navy and me being in it, towards me, like, getting out of the Navy, I experienced even more prejudice from my ship that I was on. And through that prejudice, I just realized that I was different. Because there were gay men and there were other gay men on the ship. There were other people who were different. And I was like, you know, like, I'm different in a specific different way. And in that moment is when I really started, like, playing with the idea of, was I trans, you know? Like, was this femininity that I always felt my whole life transness? And the Navy really started that conversation for me, y'all. It really did. Whether it was for positive reasons or not, the Navy started that conversation for me. And I'm always grateful to the Navy for that because not only, like, the Navy got me to go to college, which I found out I hated. The Navy showed me that I hated systems and institutions and I would never be a part of one ever again. But it was those lessons that helped make me who I was. And if I wouldn't have gone into the Navy, I wouldn't have been able if I wouldn't have gone to the Navy, I wouldn't have been able to learn those things that quickly in that fashion. I also got to see the world. I went to Italy, bitch. I went to Europe, bitch. I went to Africa. I went to South America, all before the age of 23. And it was a crazy ass experience. And you know, I don't support the military, but I don't hate on people who are in there because a lot of people are in there for circumstantial reasons that they are not in control of. But I do not support the military, does no more. But you know, I'm a veteran, and that was my experience, and it was crazy. It was crazy, and you know, my life was never been the same after it. Like I have PTSD now. I have PTSD from other things outside of the military, but I accumulated it. I guess I don't know if you can accumulate more PTSD. Like I don't know what's the correct term to like express a building of PTSD, but I developed a more acute PTSD, I guess you could say, after the military. Like it turned into body pains along with just anxiety and just like the constant feeling of fear. I learned a lot about what isolation felt like because of the military. Because when I got out, like it was like everyone forgot about me because I just like wasn't doing the same shit everybody else was doing. And you know, all my friends were in college and graduating, and like I got out, and it was just like it made me feel like I was set back. But in all honesty, like, and I don't think that this is any like positive, purely positive reason for anything. I don't want anybody to take what I'm saying and be like me, I'm pushing y'all to join the military. You know, like whatever you choose to do with your life is your choices, but my choices include this. And the Navy, like it like really helped me learn how to like get beat by life, like and to handle it. My life did, but the Navy really did. You know, like I was out to sea for like I think like fucking like almost like 90 days once with no land, no nothing. Like, bitch, the ship's air conditioning broke off the coast of Africa. Girl, bitch, steel box floating on the ocean in like 110-degree weather. It was just, you know, crazy shit, you know. Like I dealt with a lot of like feeling resented. I felt alienated, but I had a lot of good moments. But you know, like just my life and with how I deal with things and how I handle things, I can accredit a lot of that to the military, because I had to deal with a lot of shit to succeed in the military and to like be able to make money and do anything. Like I was the underdog, and I was out here in the trenches. And yeah. So now, you know, I'm not so fond of the military. And, you know, I also like learned a lot about how fake people are when they're expected to show face or follow the rules. Because there are a lot of people who were like really about me in the military, and then when I got out, like, bitch, they can't even add me on Facebook. Like, and I'll be like, girl, the shade. I don't mind, but the shade. And you know, like I just, you know, like the Navy taught me a lot. It taught me a lot. It taught me a lot. It taught me a lot about like just the reality of people. Like, you know, like just like people are fucking people. Like nobody's fucking perfect. People lie. People tell you stupid shit. People act like they care, but people also can prove you wrong, and people can show up for you, and people can change, and people can grow. You know, I guess I'm just rambling at this point. I don't know, I think like I wanted to do this video like around the holidays, because like when I do go through the holidays, it reminds me a lot of the military, because I was so alone during the holidays on the military. Like, you know, my family didn't visit me, like I didn't get sent stuff often, and I wasn't really talking to all of my family because I felt so estranged because of the fact that I was emancipated and not everybody knew. And it was, you know, like I think about like how alone I felt. And I think about now when I do feel alone during the holidays, but I feel like a large sense of like contentness at this point, because when I think about these feelings of being alone, I think about how I felt when it was really jarring for me, and like where I was as a person, and like, you know, where I was mentally and what I was doing. And when I think about that now, like, alone doesn't feel like terrible, it doesn't feel bad, I'm not projecting, like I can have fun, like I'm excited, I can have a good time, you know. So yeah, I wanted to talk about that. I don't know if I have much else to say, you guys. I don't know. This is the look, kind of, sorta. My eyes are itching. I need to take it out. I hope you guys enjoyed this conversation, whatever it was. I'm finding my niche and my placement and how I want to put out content and what I want to put out and how genuine and how honest I want to be and like how much I want to share, how much I don't want to share. But if you have any questions and if you have any suggestions for future content, put your suggestions down below. Oh my god, there's powder in my eye. Put your suggestions down below. Do all of that. The palette I used today is the Jackie Aina palette. I used the fucking red color. And then I used this color from my ColourPop palette that I have. I used this red one. If y'all were wondering. That's all I did. I just popped it on, blended it out. I'm gonna finish up my makeup. There's powder everywhere. Rona. Yeah. Oh, I feel better. I'm gonna finish up my makeup, you guys, and take some selfies. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys had a good holiday. And I hope you're not beating yourself up too much about things that are not your fault and about people that are not your problem. Okay. I love you. Have a great day.